This wasn't until I did a serious amount of work on my nervous system, understanding the nervous system, rewiring my thoughts until I came home one day and was told that I treat my wife like a suspect. Let's talk about it.
You're under arrest.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Aaron Smith, retired police officer. I work with burned out first responders who are struggling mentally, emotionally, lost in their relationships, their purpose and identity, and get them back to what's important in their lives. Now, here's what we call this: command mode, operational mode, whatever you want to call it. You're at work, you're dealing with several types of people, different demographics of people, and you're on a call to get information. You know where the conversation's going, you're directing the conversation, you're guiding it, and a lot of times you know the answers before the other person even talks. But what happens is that when we bring this home, it can look very ugly. There was a conversation I was having with my wife a few years ago, and I can say argument, right? We were in the heat of it, and she turned to me and she said, "Okay, Officer Smith," and it stopped me dead in my tracks. I thought, what did she just say? And then a few minutes later, I thought to myself, because I had a little bit more self-awareness, do I really treat her this way? Do we talk to our loved ones as if they are suspects on the streets, as if they are inmates in the correctional facility? And the answer is, oftentimes we do. Here's what's going on. You're in operational or command mode your entire shift. You're showing up on calls. You got to get the answer. You got to get the information because, quite frankly, you got to get on to the next one. And especially if you're a police officer or an investigator, it's a long conversation. You're pretty good at an interview and interrogation. You're pretty good at getting the answer that you need. No room for ambiguity. Cut it short, interrupt. You are finishing sentences for them. And guess what? You're doing that when you come home. Because command mode and operation mode doesn't just stop when you come home. When you pull into that driveway, when you engage your family, your loved ones, or your children at home, that's not just a turn-off switch. And it was very interesting. One time I was teaching a class and I thought, like, that's not me. I don't do that. But I did. And it was very unintentional. It was very unconscious. But I had become so engrossed in my work and my job that I unintentionally was steering a conversation with my wife towards trying to get a specific answer, trying to cut her short because I thought I knew the answer. And those types of conversations do not pan out so well.
Just the facts, if you don't mind, ma'am.
So going back to this class that I was teaching, I had a corrections officer pull me aside during one of the breaks, and he kind of was snuck in and he goes, "Hey, this was before I even told the story." He says, "Hey, my wife says that I treat her like she's an inmate at the jail." And I pulled him in a little bit closer and I said, "Because you do." And he, like, that, the wind left him and he really looked defeated. And I patted him on the back and I said, "You know what? It's cool, man. I'm just giving you a hard time, but you do." I said, "My wife accused me of the same thing." And I had to stop and look in the mirror and say, yes, I unconsciously was acting this way, but understand why. It was unintentional. This is the mode I'm in all day. This is what I'm good at. This is what we do. And these are the types of answers and conversations that we're trying to elicit.
What have I become?
And having that conversation made a world of difference because she brought it to my attention. I was unconsciously doing it. And when we talk about it, we can put a few things into play and we can work on some strategies to kind of separate work mode from home mode. So for us first responders, what does that look like to the person on the other side when we come home and we treat them like we're still running calls, like we're still interrogating them, like we're still in the middle of the jails? What'll end up happening is that the spouse will start disconnecting. They're not going to share deep things with you, and it's going to be little small subtle things. They're afraid to engage you. They won't be vulnerable or open up with you and tell you their true feelings because you're in work mode. You're going to interrogate them. You're going to treat them like an inmate, and it's going to cause them to distance themselves. Now, this can be worked on and it feels like you're always somewhere else. That's what it's feeling like to your spouse and to your children. And this can grow silently and quietly. And if it's not handled, an emotional distance between the two of you can grow very quickly. So what are some things that we can do to start working on this? First, obviously, awareness. You cannot change a pattern that you cannot see. So what we need to do, first responders, is stop and pause before we come home and shift our minds and our thoughts and even our nervous system from work mode to home mode. So that can be something as simple as next time you walk through the door, ask yourself, are you still Operational. Are you still in work mode or command mode as you're walking through the door? Consciously stop that feedback loop and have that small, short conversation with yourself. Ask yourself, is the person that I'm coming home to getting the police officer, the firefighter, the nurse, the paramedic, or are they getting the husband, wife, mother, father? The second thing that you can do is we always talk about that decompression window. Once you have that awareness and you ask yourself, am I still in cop mode, firefighter mode, paramedic mode? And if the answer is yes, possibly that decompression window. Sit in your car in the driveway for a couple minutes. Take a couple of those deep breaths that we always talk about. Maybe get out of your car and walk around the block for a moment. Maybe take a little 5-minute drive on your way home. And I understand we all want to get home. There's things to do, but that decompression window after having that awareness is absolutely critical. So one, have the awareness. Ask yourself which character's walking through that door. And two, if it's still first responder, start that decompression process. Third, and probably most importantly, is to have that conversation with that loved one. Ask them outright. Do you think that I treat you like you're one of my suspects? Do you think that I talk to you and have conversations with you as if you were an inmate? And chances are, if you've been doing this job and you've been together for any amount of time, the answer should not surprise you because it's probably going to be yes. So don't take offense, take it on, feel it, understand it, and then start having those conversations.
Will you listen to me?
Open that window and let them tell you their heart. Don't just get defensive. Don't just put up a front and say, well, this is what I do all day. What do you expect? Or no, whatever. Let them talk, let them pull, or let them put their heart and mind into the conversation. Don't block them out. That's what I'm trying to say. So first, awareness. Second, decompression. Third, have that honest conversation. All right, everybody, wrapping this up. If this hit close to home for you, whether you're the first responder or the spouse, comment below. What side are you on? Have you noticed this? We read all the comments. We work with first responders and their families all the time. There's a link below to book a free call. No pressure, no sales pitch, just a real conversation. So make sure you hit that subscribe button. Give us a thumbs up for the like. That's it for now. We'll see you at the next one.